In this video, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about moving to Spokane. And let's get after it right now. My name is Brian Johnson, and I'm a real estate broker with Windermere in Spokane Valley, Liberty Lake. If you like my content, subscribe, hit the little bell, and you'll find out every time I make a new video. So moving to Spokane is not all perfect. I wanted to tell you guys about some of the things about Spokane that you would call cons of moving to Spokane, but I didn't want to make a video just all about the negatives about Spokane because the positives far outweigh the negatives. So let's talk about those pros and cons about Spokane. The first obvious pro when you live here, it's super obvious, it's the great outdoors. You're surrounded by mountains and lakes. We've got 5 ski resorts within an hour and a half. You've got some of the biggest, most beautiful lakes in the world here. You've got parks, unbelievable parks and recreation in Spokane. The great outdoors is a big theme in Spokane. Now, with the great outdoors, of course, another positive about Spokane is that we have all 4 seasons. You're gonna see snow in the winter. You're going to see a lot of it, probably about 40 inches on average. You're going to see really some hot days in the summer. Today in the summer it was 97 degrees. And you're going to have some really beautiful crisp falls and some really sunny, beautiful springs here. Now, one of the cons about living in Spokane is that there's no big city stuff here. You don't have any big zoos. You don't have any big aquariums at all, anything like that. You don't have specialty designer clothing stores. You have some nice restaurants, but you don't have a big, gigantic food scene like you do in big cities. And we don't have those big concerts here. We do get concerts, but we don't get those big ones. They're going to Seattle. And another con about living here is that if you do want that big city stuff, it's a long ways to the next big city. Boise is about 6 hours in one direction, and Seattle is about 5.5 hours in the other direction. A pro about living in Spokane is the cost of living here is relatively reasonable. Housing prices are going up right now pretty fast, but they're doing that all across the nation. But the rest of the cost of living, I'll do a video on that in the future. But having lived in both Seattle and Denver, I can just tell you from personal experience, it's less expensive to live here than in those big cities. Another big positive about living in Spokane and in Washington in general is that we don't have an income tax and we don't have an inheritance tax. We don't have bad traffic here. You can pretty much get anywhere in the metropolitan area in about 30 minutes max. You're not going to be sitting on the freeway for hours. In the in-city driving, it's just not that bad. Now, one of the bads about Spokane is the roads. Some of the roads in Spokane are absolutely terrible. I live up on 5 Mile, and it's a really nice area. And we've got a major road, strong road. Anyone that lives here knows this road. And you will hit your head on the roof of your car, or you're going to spill your coffee when you drive down this road. It is so bumpy. And I can tell you, that's not the only street like that in Spokane. There's a lot of streets in Spokane that are really bad. And it's really frustrating, and I don't understand why they don't fix the roads here. So another con about Spokane for a lot of people is that you would call it a drive city. You're going to want a car here. You're going to be driving wherever you go. We do have public transportation, of course, but most people agree it's pretty poor here in Spokane. Downtown is relatively safe. Now, any downtown super late at night, I wouldn't recommend that. But I go downtown with my kids. We don't have riots. We don't have protests. And it's pretty much a quiet, easy place with lots of parking downtown. Also downtown, we've got a waterfall. And there's a gondola that goes over it. It's really cool. It's right downtown, goes right through the middle of the city. We've got 5 universities in Spokane. We've got Gonzaga, we've got Eastern, we've got WSU, we've got Whitworth, and we've got University of Washington, and we've got 2 medical schools here. Now, a con about Spokane is that we've got a pretty thriving meth scene, and I know most big cities have drug problems. In Spokane, we've got a drug problem. Another con that goes along with that is that we have a lot of property crime. Now, we aren't a town with a lot of those big major crimes, but you're going to get property crime in Spokane. That's just a thing here. We have clean parks here, whether it's the city parks or the state parks. We just have really beautiful, clean parks. I feel safe taking my kids to any park in Spokane. We don't have tornadoes, earthquakes, or hurricanes. In fact, we don't have any of those major disasters here. When we were living in Denver, seriously, we had a tornado land about a mile away from our house, and we were in the city. That wouldn't happen in Spokane. And the last great thing about Spokane, and this comes from the heart, Spokane's a great place to raise a family. So those are my pros and cons about moving to Spokane. If you're thinking of headed this way, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Tons of people are coming this way, and I can help you find that perfect neighborhood. Thanks for watching.